So the Rockets have had themselves a not ideal January, as they're 4-6 after their loss to the Blazers last night. And the interesting thing to me is that Westbrook has been great, and James Harden has not. Now, to look at the total picture before I just talk about those two guys, in January they're mid-tier in defense and offense. I think the formula for them is being elite on offense and good enough defensively. And I think a lot of that comes back to Harden's struggles. As far as the defense is concerned, I mean, maybe they could trade for somebody, but they don't have a lot of stuff to really work with, salary and picks and all that. So I guess the only other thing could be maybe being a better defensive rebounding team. That, and if Harden just simply makes more shots again, then that'll allow you to stabilize your defense. If you want to get real nitpicky, Houston is towards the bottom of the league in fouls per game, as in they foul a lot, so that could be another thing they could correct. In the month of January, James Harden has fallen off a cliff with his three-point shooting, as he's shooting 25% on them, and it's all the normal threes, the step-backs, the pull-ups, all that. The only saving grace for his efficiency right now is his free throw shooting. Usually his shot making is there too. And the thing is, I don't totally know what you would do to fix it besides just assuming it'll go in more. I mean, this guy has made difficult threes for however long now on good efficiency. Is it possible that Harden's a little tired, not getting as much lift on his shot? I mean, potentially, but we're like 40 games into the season here. Why are you already tired? I mean, I understand that this guy's workload is pretty nuts for this team, but this is what you sign up for. You're the highest paid dude. You're the MVP candidate. You're the guy who goes for the MVP every year and then gets mad when you don't win it. So can you not get tired halfway through the year if that's what it is? Is he hurt? That's a possibility as well. We don't really know. But the dude is basically just relying on the stuff he's always relied on, at least the past couple years, to score, and it's not really working right now. And I mean, it's been a month. Like, the dude's shooting 25% from three in the month of January. So at what point do we just say, it's a cold stretch, or do we start to believe that there's something going on with Harden? I don't know. Could he simply just attack the basket more? I mean, potentially. We'll get to Russ in a second, but Russ has been attacking the basket like a crazy person lately, whereas Harden is shooting about 5 shots a game in the restricted area. Granted, he's still getting fouled a lot, so okay, but if these threes are just going to be missing at this rate, then perhaps it would make sense to attack the rim a little bit more. I mean, even then, like, I don't want to get caught up in the whole, like, confirmation bias thing of a three doesn't go in, so therefore it's a bad shot. But this is a month's sample size at this point. I mean, the last good three-point shooting night he had was January 11th against the Wolves. Since then, it's like 1 for 17 against the Thunder, 0 for 6 against the Wolves, 2 for 8 last night against the Blazers. There's a 2 for 9 against the Lakers, a 5 for 19 against the Grizzlies. Like, what's going on here with James Harden right now? I don't know. Could the Rockets run some more pick and rolls for him? Yeah, potentially. I mean, they run the least amount in the league. They run even less than Philly does. About 11% of their plays are pick and rolls. Just get Harden going downhill a little bit more. Now, again, his free throws have been fine. Like, he's shooting 12 free throws a game at 87% in January. So that's allowing his efficiency to not completely fall off a cliff. But even so, it's not great right now with Harden. And, the on-off numbers would suggest Harden's having some trouble. In the month of January, the Rockets are -4 with Harden. They're like +8 without him. Some of that's that the bench lineups have been doing well, but that's not great. I mean, especially for a dude who, like, for the season overall, the Rockets are still better with Harden than without him. So that shows you, like, how much of a difference it's been in January. Now, Harden is still making plays. I mean, his assists for the month are not through the roof, but they're at 6.5. Okay. Is it possible that teams freaked him out a little bit too much when they started double teaming him, like the moment he crossed half court? I don't know. I mean, I feel like they started doing that earlier in the season, and the dude was playing with the sliders all the way up for the first few months of the year, so I don't know if it would just kick in January. But again, I think maybe just some more pick and rolls. I mean, I don't know how creative we're really going to expect this Rockets offense to be. I mean, Mike D'Antoni has always been kind of a create the system outside of the game and just do it in games over and over and over again type of guy. So, I don't know. If you want to use that as criticism against him, be my guest. Before we get to Westbrook, just real quick about everybody else in this team. Like, Eric Gordon, I think, has been fine. Of course, he had the 50-point game, but outside of that, he's still had enough good shooting games. I mean, he's been a lot better since he came back from injury. I think Capella has been fine. The role player trio of Austin Rivers, Ben McLemore, Daniel House, cool. PJ Tucker, cool, even if he's like shooting a little less than he normally would shoot, which already wasn't like a super lot. I don't know if I'm alarmed by that one or not. He pretty much just plays off of everybody else. Anyway, if we get to Westbrook, he's been great in January. I mean, 32 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 53% from the field. His free throws have been better. He's shooting less threes. He's only shooting about 2 threes a game right now. There was a stretch of games where he just didn't shoot a three-pointer at all. And he's trading a lot of that in for just going to the rim more. In January, Westbrook is averaging 17 shots a game in the paint. He's shooting like 60% at the rim. And then he's also shooting, 7.5 free throws at 75%. So the dude's just a freight train. And looking at a lot of them, it's not as much of the like playing off of Harden double teams as at least I thought it was going to be. Because I haven't watched every second of every Rockets game for the past month. A lot of it is just him kind of going ISO in a half-court situation, beating his guy, and then doing good stuff around the rim. The team has been better with Russ than without him in January. It's not like a crazy difference, it's like +1 versus -1, but when you combine that with how noticeable Harden's is, I feel like there's something to be said there. And I feel like we're really seeing this month the erratic stuff that Westbrook could bring to this team in a good way, because that was one thing that you could criticize this Rockets team for, is that they would get kind of too comfortable in their ways, and against good teams, perhaps you could game plan against them. Now, even then, it took the Warriors to beat them 2 years in a row, so take that for what it's worth. But, Westbrook just throws some weirdness into this whole thing, whether it's grabbing offensive rebounds or just flying in the full court, whereas Harden is a little more chill bringing it up, or random other Westbrook things that this team didn't do as much before they had him. And if you could just combine that with Harden making shots at the rate that he would typically make, then this team could potentially be amazing. And I guess that's something to look towards the second half of the season. If Westbrook can keep up this shot making around the basket and not attempting too many bad threes or bad jumpers and just constantly attacking, and then Harden can get back to what he normally does, well, okay, then we might have something. And again, if that means D'Antoni's got to run some more screens for Harden or whatever, then I think you would do it. Potentially some more off-ball things for Harden as well. It's just Harden doesn't really want to do those things, I would imagine. I mean, can we picture Harden running across screens off-ball the way that like Ben McLemore or Eric Gordon would? I don't really think he wants to do that. But maybe D'Antoni will have to throw something new into this thing for him. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Rockets for you. Westbrook has been damn good. Could they make some sort of a move? Potentially, I'm sure they would want to. It's just, what can they really do? I don't really know, but that'll do it.